fast forward real quick to see if we have some maps for you, and we do. Hey, I'm not hungover from the Super Bowl because I actually had 0 beers yesterday. Yeah, 0. But I guess my computer is. So let's get to it. Hey, I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrosa. Welcome to the MLive Morning Weather Update brought to you by Lush Lawn. It looks like we're going to have some info for you, and there's a lot of info, so let's get right to it. If you could share this now, because I think this is going to be a big week of weather. In fact, it looks like we're going to have a couple of storms in the next 10 days that will be very noteworthy, at least moisture laden. All right, so let me help you first see what you're seeing here. This is going to be the European model, and we're looking at the GFS model too. So this is the European model, generally best this far out when looking at a storm Thursday into Friday. GFS model, not terrible, not too bad, not as bad as it was. Sometimes a little overdone. So that's what we're going to comparing. So pick out Florida. You can see Illinois clearly, so then you can get Michigan. What you're seeing is the wind flow in the dark black lines. You're seeing the upper level temperatures in the red and the blue lines. Blue lines represent snow generally, and then you see the amounts of precipitation. And by the way, I apologize because you might hear a beagle howling upstairs. He's real needy today. Bagel, the beagle. So we'll get this done. Okay, so today, very isolated spots of snow. Nothing really that's noteworthy for this time of the year here in Michigan. Tomorrow, great travel weather. If you are heading south, maybe for a vacation, great time to do it. Look at that, south all the way dry, and that freezing line coming through Wisconsin into the southwest corner by tomorrow evening, and by tomorrow night, Tuesday night, into Wednesday morning, we warm up considerably, although it will be on the windy side. Now, that's when the zone of storm sets up over Michigan, stretching from Michigan southwest to Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas. Always the track that we watch for the more significant weather systems. And this is Wednesday night, and this is Thursday midday. And we're going to look a little closer at this. I'm just giving you the big picture. And this is Thursday evening, and then Thursday night and Friday morning, the system moves off. Here comes another Arctic cold front, both models advertising that for the weekend, a quick plunge. They're getting a little bit less severe because already by Sunday, we're back into the milder air, at least in the southern half of lower Michigan. And you'll notice that the storm zone is setting up over Michigan and trailing back to the southwest. That's why I say we could have 2 or 3 significant moisture-laden storm systems here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then this would be pretty far out on the models, admittedly, 9 days out, but there you have it, another big old hunk of moisture, rain or snow or freezing rain coming through. And then we're out to Wednesday, February 23rd. Okay, a little closer of a look now. And this is the European, and I apologize. Yes, beagles are needy 24/7. Burr and Bay City, definitely. Hey, good morning, Dundee. And I apologize because, it's everything's got a hangover today, except for me, and hopefully not you, but my phone also will not allow me to communicate to you. So all I can see is everybody's known as Anonymous. Hey, Anonymous from Waterford, good morning to you. Okay, so here we go with a close-up of the European. Remember, today and tomorrow, good travel conditions. Wednesday, good travel conditions. This is in the afternoon and in the evening. Rain starts to develop because we will be mild. And then this is Wednesday night. This is Thursday morning. This is Thursday afternoon. Thursday evening off the European. Just kind of remember that. We can jump back and forth. And then Friday morning. Okay? And we will take it out farther so you know what you can kind of plan. We're getting to the time where construction goes all year round, and you've got to plan, like, say, a framer for a house. I mean, everybody's clamoring for their house to get done, so I know how it goes. So here is the following week and another system. All right, now here's the US model. Wednesday dry. We go into Wednesday overnight. Looks very similar. Thursday morning looks very similar. The only difference is that the US model has a solid one wave system. This is Thursday afternoon and evening, and that right there would be a snowstorm across the southeast 2/3 from north of Grand Rapids to around Tawas southward. That would be a snowstorm on Thursday night, and then Friday morning done. So very similar looks. And by the way, the storm the following week, again, very similar look, although this one is a little bit warmer on that storm system. So I'm not prepared just yet to give you a guesstimate on snowfall because it's two different bands. I will say that it looks like somewhere in Michigan we'll have 4 inches or more late in the week, and we have to fine tune it. Probably need another day before we start pinning it down. But I do want to show you that these are moisture laden storm systems. So here is the European. Remember, it's a little farther south, and here's its total precipitation, liquid form. That could be melted snow, freezing rain, or rain. And it's showing that could be over an inch from Ann Arbor, Detroit, Kalamazoo, southward, 5/10 to an inch, Flint, Oakland County, Grand Rapids area, Flint, Saginaw Bay City on the kind of edge of it. So 1/2 inch to an inch of moisture. If it's snow, that's quite a bit of snow again. And if it's rain, that's quite a bit of rain for a cold season. Now, let's look at the GFS, the US model. And I want to remind you that admittedly, it has, in the last several storms, it has been too heavy by about a 1/2 inch on moisture. Remember the last snowstorm when people were going crazy with it before I thought it was necessary to give you snow amounts, it was showing 22, 25 inches of snowfall. Well, as it turned out, it was about 14 was the highest. So again, it was quite a bit too high, and the European was maybe a couple of inches too low. And now we get back to this and show you that on the GFS, it has a couple of inches, 1 to 2 inches of moisture through a big swath of lower Michigan, and that's because it's a one wave storm system. Someone says, I heard that we go from below zero now to 50 degrees by Wednesday. Yes, that is true. Hey, good morning, Merritt Island. Okay, so let's look at temperatures. We know there's quite a storm system heading this way. This is tomorrow. This is today. We're still cold in the teens and 20s. You know about today. And then tomorrow, we're inching toward the freezing mark in Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Grand Rapids, and upper 20s in the east side of the state, low to mid 20s, Traverse City northward. And then here's Wednesday, and this has been consistent all along, that I do think we'll get into the 40s. I'm not sure about 50, but maybe along the southern border, you get to 50 in Coldwater and Adrian, somewhere in there, and far southwest corner of lower Michigan. But otherwise, looking at a lot of mid to upper 40s. Thursday, the question mark, depending on the track of the storm system, and that would be this. You're looking at the European temperature, so it's a little bit colder than the GFS because the track is a little bit farther south. And Friday, we're back to winter in the teens and low 20s, and Saturday, and then Sunday, we jump back up. So you see what's happening is the cold spells are getting shorter, and the jump back up is getting quicker and a little more significant. So Sunday maybe back into the 40s, and Monday maybe holding in the 40s in the south before another little bit of a cool down. So we definitely, one thing that we know is that we are in a storm track that will have cold just to the north, warm just to the south. So Michigan is going to be in that dividing line, and it looks like it's going to be in that dividing line for a couple of weeks at least. That gets us to March. Hold on to your weather pants. We could have a lot of interesting stuff here. I think we will, because we're in a pattern where there's a lot of solid moisture-laden storm systems. Now, the Pacific typically will flare up and send 3 or 4 of these storm systems over the course of 2 weeks or so, and then it can kind of quiet down for a couple of weeks. So it just depends on where the cold air is, when we get into that stretch. But it looks like storminess, let's call it Wednesday night through all of Thursday. Let's call it next Wednesday or Thursday. So they're spaced apart about 7 days. And one thing about that is the proper spacing for a decent sized storm system. If they're spaced apart only 2 or 3 days apart, the wave can't get big enough for a big storm system. But at about a week apart is the classic time period for a strong storm system every week or so. That's what I'll say about that. Hey, that's why us meteorologists love Michigan weather, because it gets boring for a short time period, and then it gets quite active, and we have to go to work and really pore over the data. So I'll try to keep you updated. Right now, the thing I can tell you is decent travel today, excellent travel Tuesday, excellent travel most all of Wednesday, because we'll be well above the freezing mark. And then if you're thinking about traveling, Thursday probably not a good day, and even Friday morning, if we end up with a bunch of snow, Friday morning would be slick also. So hope you can plan around your week with travel on that. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update, brought to you by Lush Lawn. And I'm going to have a post coming up here shortly about some very interesting stuff that happened on the Great Lakes yesterday. Some of you got caught in these small, what I call lake-induced mesoscale vortexes, and they produce very heavy snowfall in a small circular area. Well, they were caught on radar and they were caught on satellite, and you'll see exactly what happens. It's almost as if it's a really widespread dust devil process or waterspout process, but it turns into a storm system and then moves onshore. And I did want to say, I did warn you on Friday about the possibility. I didn't know where the locations of them would be, but they were there. So join me on MLive, and I'll keep you updated on this week's weather. Please share when you have a chance. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. This is the MLive Morning Weather Update, brought to you by Lush Lawn. Have a great Monday.